Hello, my name is Alan, and tonight I'm facilitating the third of four sessions of Rapscallion from Magpie Games by Whistler. And we're not going to do much in the way of introductions. We'll let that happen as we play. But I will point out that this game is organised as part of the Open Hearth Gaming Community's monthly calendar. If you want to find out more about the Open Hearth, search Open Hearth on your search engine of choice. Find out more about us. We like to think that that the table culture here is really good, and we play with people around the world. It's great to play with people, all kinds of games. And in keeping with our code of conduct, we will be playing with a set of safety tools, lines and veils. We'll be playing with the X card, an open door, and we'll be debriefing with stars and wishes. So with that in mind, I will try to outline a previous. Well, no, in fact, why don't I ask the characters to recall something from last time? And I appreciate some of you have played a lot of games between then and now. So if you are unclear about a significant event from last time or where it took us, please feel free to say pass. So let me start with Callum. Jose, do you want to give us a brief kind of previously on Rapscallion, the Archipelago?
Last time on Rapscallion, the Archipelago, we saw a raid of a sort. Well, we just got kind of mixed it up when we went to the captain's table. Is that the name of the ship?
It's
Um,
it
uh,
technically I think it's the
Re-
name of the bar and
of
casino
the
in the
whole
hold.
bar that's there. And we got in, that's where we all found each other after some other escapades that maybe others can recall prior. And I believe that Gloria was in search of a plate on the actual captain's table, in the captain's table, that she had made a deal with, or she had received a proposition from, uh,
A
what was her
school
name?
marm.
The school
The
marm.
local
What was her
school mom,
name? The school marm.
Miss Bell.
Miss Bell. Miss Bell. I thought it was a B. And that didn't all go as planned. And when Ishmael and Callum arrived, they were in search of Auntie Beth, who was Callum has a score to settle with her, and Ishmael was interested in finding her to see if he could get information about the eye below, because he has a hankering for some special um, soul amber, sunken soul amber, I believe it's called, that he wants to use in his
Great work. I think we're settling, aren't we?
great work, cutting edge research.
Um, Einar, do you want to add a bit of picture some swashbuckling related to all of that?
I mean, yeah, Einar just wanted to cut loose a little, bring maybe some treasure stuff, and he did. He played with Molly, who was not, was a bit of a sore loser, honestly. And then he ended up swinging from the rafters, not intentionally swinging from the rafters at the start, but then everybody arrived and things got a little out of hand, quite a lot. This ended up with Einar getting down after swinging from a chandelier, as you do, and then stealing Molly's peg leg shotgun.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
also sicking all the other captains on her because there was a fire and he was just blaming her.
Um, Mention of a fire there. Lowell, do you want to tell us about Gloria and the fire?
Now, I just want to clarify, if I may, in my own defense, that I had a very simple plan, which was we were going to go talk to a person who was going to tell us about the chest so that we could go then pursue that. I acted in that interest. Things escalated quite quickly. And yes, I did summon the fiery ghostly spirit of my dead siren mother and let that loose in the room. but uh, the damage was minor to me, except that right now I am certainly bedeviled and compelled by that spirit. So I'm certainly hoping that will quickly find out what we need to do, get out on the waters, and move along.
And finally, Ishmael, can you tell us, Dom, about Ishmael's? Because Ishmael actually did manage to get hold of Auntie Beth, but only because he managed to avoid getting more interested in something else. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yes, so Ishmael didn't really have much plans for Scaravia until Callum invited her to go to the Roots Crop uh, underground bar to try and find Auntie Beth. We went there, so we couldn't find her, and Callum got his ass handedly handed to him, but that's not needed here or there. Before we eventually made our way to the captain's table, and shenanigans happened. The rest of the crew went and just, as far as Ishmael is concerned, just mucked around a bit, while Ishmael actually got worked done by fighting Antibet, who was accompanied by a priest of the Kraken who was utterly octopus-shaped, and Ishmael did have to fight her urges to get the sword on board to not take the priest of the Kraken with her to the ship instead of Antibet. But she managed to overcome this and bring Antibet to the ship, at which point she is exhausted that she is seemingly the only one that actually did anything of progress with the relation of Scaravia.
I think that summarizes it nicely. And we saw Auntie Beth in that screen share along with this priest of the Kraken with the tentacles hanging out the bottom of his hood. So at the end of all of that, you found yourself escaping from the captain's table while the captains, there were originally four captains, uh, Pegleg Molly, sorry, was stumbling about, but three of them made a dash, it seemed to you, to try to reach the location of the actual table and perhaps the actual plate. And Gloria's mad siren spirit mother caused a degree of difficulty there. Now I've added to the NPC tab, the four relevant captains. Pegleg Molly missing her blunderbuss leg, Captain Woebetide Winters, Captain of the Beast, Captain Bentley Hartford, Captain of the Destiny, and Captain Emmeline Sweet, Captain of the Charm, all four pirate crews. You left the crews unclear, putting out the fire, supporting their particular captain in whatever was then going on, but you decided to regroup at the Goose with Auntie Beth, pending an effort to try to find out more about this mysterious chest that you found in the hold when the Goose surfaced from the Hell's Mouth. Now, Callum, or Jose, you expressed a wish last time to have a scene with Einar. And given what happened last time, it would seem to me we have a premise for a conversation. So how, Callum, will you approach a conversation with Einar? Where on the Goose are you? You've just all arrived back. What do we see? What do we hear?
So I did say that I wanted to have a scene with Einar. I think there has to be a scene with Beth, with Auntie Beth.
We'll come to Beth in a bit.
Maybe we could put that together, or we could keep it.
Well, we could.
I don't know.
It's just that's going to be a more general scene, I think, because Ishmael was actually the person who got Beth, so Ishmael may have an interest in Beth.
Yeah.
I'm sure Gloria is busy with her mother, but we'll come to that shortly. What do you mean, get back in the skull?
Yes.
So no,
I
I,
would
I just wanted to put that on the table early on because it would seem to me that this was a peaceful moment if you wanted to take it, or we can pick it up later.
maybe later because I was thinking maybe I should start with Ishmael because you know the scene that I remember at the end was um, Callum coming up and saying, "Oh my God, you got her," and Ishmael saying, um, uh, continuing to carry her and not allowing Callum to take over. And so I think Callum is going to be very interested in Auntie Beth and trying to find a way to share her with Ishmael.
Okay, so let's put us on board the Goose. You're up on the deck. The crew has returned after an evening's entertainment, as have you. Um, and Auntie Beth is still unconscious, but beginning to come round. Ishmael, you carried her on board despite your exhausted state.
Yeah, I think you probably like carried Anti-Belag below deck, where we just tied her up to like one of the posts down there, one of the yeah, the posts down there. So I think while we like wait for Anti-Belag to regain consciousness,
It
Ishmael
must be
just
said, this is one of the few ship's sick bays equipped with a post and a set of shackles. But fine, there you
And
go.
Callum
You're
is definitely following you
in
down there.
in in your laboratory, Ishmael.
you know, yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess in that case, Ishmael would like I guess strap Anti-Bet down onto the operating table, which I imagine just like has all the straps to keep uh, patients bound down because remember Ishmael does not believe in using anesthetics and probably just like leaves her there to wake up on her own as Ishmael, after being exhausted, he just kind of like slumps down into the chair and kind of just like lays out a sigh and just I guess
Exhausted.
yeah again I guess just like eyes Callum who followed her down.
And Callum picks up a bucket of water that is on the ground and is ready. And I don't know if Ishmael is going to attempt to stop him, but he's going to pour it on Auntie Beth to wake her up. Time to wake up.
And Beth kind of, mother, what do you want? Where am I? What? What? Ah!
And Callum puts both hands on either side of her head as he leers down at her. She's prone, right,
Oh,
on
yeah.
the operating table, and he says, "You remember me, Auntie?"
I do want to say, Einar and Gloria, you will hear a scream from the sick bay. If either of you wants to respond to that scream.
Am I crazy? No.
Okay.
Let Ishmael
The
do
last time
what
you were on
Ishmael.
that table, you
Yes,
lost an
exactly. I
eye.
screamed as well. So yeah, no, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I
Gloria,
will.
or are you
I've got some other fish to fry.
okay? Okay. So Beth is actually strapped down, Ishmael, wrist and ankles.
Yep.
One across the chest, one across her knees. So she's lying there entirely helpless. Now I am conscious we have a line on torture, so we do need to
Yeah.
be careful where we go with this. But so what does Callum do? Because clearly she is dis confused and worried to the point of fear.
Yes. I can see that you remember me. I can see it in your eyes. You
Uh,
tricked me, old woman. You told
uh,
me you can bring my Jarrow back.
um, um, uh, not exactly.
And you left me with this curse.
Um, it's not considered a curse by everyone.
Not a curse. I have nightmares every night. Of sinking forever in deep waters, of monsters circling around me just out of sight. And then I hear his voice. I hear his voice, Auntie Beth. He's trapped somewhere, but I can't find him. And he slams his fist down on the operating table next to her head.
Um, uh, how can I make this this right, Callum.
I'm glad you're feeling cooperative. Trouble is, I don't trust a word that comes out of your mouth.
Um, you have to understand that I was operating under duress.
I can't hear any more of your lies. So I'll pull the truth out of you myself. And I think Callum grabs her by the throat, and then you see the tattoos migrate down his arm and onto her face and maybe into her eyes, and her eyes go black like ink, like squid ink.
Wow.
And,
I'm going to cut there
okay.
because that you know the audience is going. Ah! Gloria, you said you had other fish to fry. What and where?
Yeah, so I think what I am doing is trying to grit my teeth and hold in this devil and chat with the crew. And they've been ashore, and I'm just trying to get a sense of like, did any of them see what the easiest way is over to that Scholar's Tower? They know anything about it? Um, because my goal is when we have a moment, we can leave Ishmael and Caleb to their muse, and Einar and I could go with a quick hop over and see if we can get information on the chest. So I am polling the crew uh, and trying to keep things in.
Now we know what it's like when Mother gets out from last time.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but you're trying to keep her in. Do we see her in screen? On because when she gets out, everybody sees her.
Now, I think what is happening now is I suspect I always have a low level headache, but I suspect it is when she is up and bedeviling me, it is a raging headache. I think the only like sign for people is that there is a faint sing-song bleeding off of me. As I'm walking around. Like, do you hear that in the distance, that song? That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Um, well, I think in order to try and milk this information from the crew, because I'm guessing that you want to get somewhere like, I don't know, Parley, size up. You want to get some information from the crew.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get fictional positioning kind of for when we go over there, just like
Okay,
so that we have some information in hand.
fine. Well then let's have you stand your ground, keep focused on that, put the headache to one side and get something from the crew.
Yes. And roll blank. By
Well,
the way, I hate that term.
yes, I know. I know. I
Roll with plus nothing. Don't say roll blank because there might be a stat called blank, but there isn't.
no, and
Okay.
and then it says, but add one. Anyway, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. So here I'm going to roll.
Now you have to explain how you're gaining any inspiration from anybody else in the crew here
I think that
and
as
spend a
much as
bond.
anything, it is that I just watched Einar go through a a hanging in a bar, and all of us come in and fire get lit and everything, and Einar was like, I don't care, whatever. I'm just gonna dance around. This doesn't bother me at all. And like to I don't want to look weaker than that.
Enough said.
I don't want to be showed up by his absolute just devil may care attitude.
Fine. Well, so you're going to burn a bond with Einar. Oh, I
Yeah.
will remind you all, folks, reset your luck to Spitfire. modified by anything else
Oh,
that you've got in the play.
I think I'm going to burn a bond with the goose is how I'm going to read
Fine,
that.
with the crew, because it's the crew you want to talk to here, so that
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
perfectly legitimate to me. Fine. So burn a bond with the crew of the goose, and that if the person inspiring you is right here, take +1. Got that.
Okay.
Spend an additional bond to get another +1.
Now I think +2 is enough.
If you are facing your vice, take -1.
So that's a +1 total then.
Only if you spend the extra bond.
Uh,
So you're
so
rolling +0.
and then 1 for people being round. Oh, that's right, because the bond costs 1. Yeah, let's because it's my mother's ghost, let's go ahead and burn that bond as well.
Now you get to
And
+1.
yeah, so +1, person nearby, +2. So 2 bonds and a person nearby gets me +2. I'm rolling. That is a 5 and a 6 +2 is 11. Glad I spent that extra bond and wasted it. Uh, so that's a 13.
Well, that went rather well then. So on a hit, you resist to compel. So I can tell you that there is a boathouse, and I can refer you here to the map. Um, Here we go. So here is the goose anchored on the
Okay.
point. Here are the other 4 pirate ships. Here is the captain's council and table. And here is the boathouse where a boat could be hired or otherwise obtained to take you across the narrow strait to the tower, where you
Abs
believe Threadbare Roger will have something to help you about this chest. Okay?
that sounds great.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think because you rolled a 10 ought to give you something more. What extra benefit do you want?
oh, but besides me clearing that compel, I am more than happy to have that. Uh, if I resist the compel, hold on. If I resist the compel, pistol sacrifices or else lose 1 bond with the demon. Oh boy, hang on. List of sacrifices.
Oh, that's interesting. Where is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I do. Yeah, you know your questions.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, your demon currently demands your precious trinkets or treasures as sacrifices. In future, it may punish you by demanding, in ascending order of punishment, your sense of feeling, touch, or smell.
I will feed my mother my rusted jar containing a dangerous ghost that I've been saving for a rainy day.
Absolutely.
Here you go.
And of course, what that does is to set up a conversation. Um, Now, I am prepared to now clear that compel, that condition, that vice, sorry, because I think you have resisted the compel for a crewmate's sake,
Yes.
because all of you wanted to know what was in that chest. Einar, meanwhile, before I cut back to the sick bay, what, if anything, are you doing?
I think I am reconnecting with the sea because, I can't be with her right now, but I mean, come on. I just, I just need to vibe with the sea. Also, I've taken, since I got a level last time, I've taken the ability to unleash my powers to control the weather, which
Okay.
seems like a neat idea.
Summanus reigns. You may unleash your
Mhm.
powers to
Yeah.
control the weather. If you miss, take hunted in addition to other
Yeah.
consequences. Gee whiz.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
What does reconnecting with the sea look like?
I think I'm just standing at the prow, and I mean, I might be standing somewhere, or no, I'm at the wheel, of course. I'm touching the wheel, maybe carving a little. I will also take care. I have taken 1 harm, and I don't think this is mostly fictional, that Einar will just patch up whatever harm he took. He does not want it to go to Ishmael. He does not want to see anyone because they might tell Ishmael, and that's no, thank you. But once was quite enough. This is
Uh,
not
so, I mean,
serious.
at the end of a restful downtime, Uh,
I
or if
don't
you
think
have
we had a restful
no,
downtime so
if you have
far.
a few hours to spare. Now this so you can go and sleep in your cabin and get that harm back.
I don't
We make
sleep in my cabin. I sleep at
oh,
the wheel.
oh, of course you do. Of course you do. Standing at the
I mean, I
wheel.
do have a cabin. It's mostly for my loot.
Yeah. So we'll see whether a couple of hours are available shortly. Let me cut back to Callum because we don't want to see any of that, anything a bit iffy going on. But what is how does this resolve itself, Callum?
So I'm thinking that this is an unleash. What is it called? Unleash your power or
Unleash your
something?
power. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. So I think it's he's using the site, and he says something like right. He was saying, "I don't trust a word that comes out of your mouth."
I'll
So I'm
get
going to
this
see what you
myself.
saw directly.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it. I'm going to see what you see. Where is he? Where's my boy?
Hmm.
So let's have you roll plus Spitfire.
All right. Well, since I didn't have luck with the physical dice
Oh
last
yeah,
time,
that's right.
I will try these. All right. Um, okay, so that is an 8 plus 2 is a 10. No, no, plus
Wow.
1. Plus 1 is a 9.
9. So
9.
on
It's a
a
9.
hit, it does what you want, but exacts a personal cost or surges out of control. Fate's choice. On a no 10 plus he didn't get. So that's it. So do
It's a 9.
you want a personal cost or do you want to have it surge out of control? Oh no, it's my choice.
It's your
Oh,
choice. It's
I'm
your
going to have
choice.
it surge out of control.
If I get a 10, then I get the choice. That's all I get. You're
Yeah,
gonna have
no,
a search
no.
out of
I'm gonna have it.
control.
So you get what you get. I think what you get is a picture of Auntie Beth in a bubble of air underwater, and
Cool.
through the refraction of the air water boundary, you can see figures outside, um, and you can see tentacles outside, and a voice. Beth hears a voice, and it says, "Beth, you know what you must do, and we have told you the bait that you should bait your hook with. Now, send him to the sirens and tell him that they will tell him what happened to his love. But Beth, mention nothing of our contract." And a face with tentacles growing out of it is clearly visible. And the going out of control is
Yes. I think I
Ishmael.
have an image of like when he's doing this, her eyes go black, but I think his eyes go black as well. So he's overwhelmed. Yeah.
Ishmael, you also get the vision.
Oh,
You too see this betentacled figure, and you recognize them because you encountered the priest of the Kraken in the same room where you found Auntie Beth. Okay?
Okay.
I leave it to you to decide
Mhm.
what you do with that information. Okay? But yeah, it is clear from that Beth was being manipulated, and that the trip to the sirens was at the behest of some other folk, odd folk, and that she told you what she needed to tell you to get you there. She doesn't know where he is.
hmm. And remind me the trip to the siren. What did I make a trip to the sirens?
Well, because didn't they tattoo you?
Oh, we hadn't connected the sirens to the tattooing.
Well, oh, I thought
I
we
like it.
had.
Oh, but we may want to retcon
I
that.
like it.
I thought we had. I'm sorry that I've
Oh, I
been
like
working.
that. No, I like it. Okay, yeah. Because that links me into it hooks me into Gloria. Yeah. So, oh, well, that's where I got the tattoo with the sirens. Okay, got it. Okay,
And
good. I like
because they have the source of the soul amber that is
the
used
soul.
to make the tattoos. Yeah.
What a tangled web. Okay.
What a tangle web we weave, particularly when I misremember something from session one. Um, Ishmael, do you do anything with that information right now?
Okay, before I do anything, I'm going to first roll 2 dice for my alchemy
Oh,
skill.
good. Yeah.
All right.
Because you've got
So,
loads of useful alchemical
okay,
things.
okay, so 6, 5 plus 1, that's a 12. So
Oh,
you get 2 items.
okay. And you don't need
Okay,
to declare that until you use them,
yeah,
do you?
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
that's
good
a
to know
good
that I
thing.
do have them.
I like that.
Okay,
Um,
so I think like as the whole, I guess, interrogation, if you could call it that, happened, Ishmael just kind of like stared at Callum and at Bear, like just making sure that nothing happened while looking completely unimpressed as Callum like unleashed his power. And after the vision, as you mentioned, like Ishmael recognized it, and so Ishmael knows that the sunken Sodambod is with the silence. So Ishmael, like with that information, like she won't do anything, like she'll just mention to Callum that she's got what she wanted out of Antibet. What Callum wants like to do with her now is none of her concern.
okay. So, Callum, what are you going to do with Antibeth before I bring you all back together to go up to the deck and decide what to do about Threadbare Roger?
So I think after the vision, when Callum throws his head back, he releases his grip on Antibeth, and he kind of falls to his knees a bit. He had been really kind of focused on her as the villain, and I think this vision has shaken him. Like he realizes that she was actually telling the truth, that she was being manipulated by these other beings, um, and that so I think he's feeling confused, and he gets up when Ishmael says that to him. Um, he says, I think he starts releasing Antibeth. I think he pulls off the restraints, but he can't really look at her. And he pulls off all the restraints and he says, just go now before I change my mind.
And he's looking away from her, and she puts her hand on his shoulder and says, I'm I'm just so sorry, but they would have done away with me.
Go, go, Beth.
And Beth goes.
I think like asking like a bit, and we see we're just gonna like say to Carl like it felt too emotional.
You, but you're half dead. You don't remember what it's like to be human anymore, do you, Ishmael?
Hmm.
What it
I,
means
I
to
guess I guess you would be right, but I have become something more.
And I think at that point we will bring you all back together
great.
up around Einar at the wheel. It's unusual for him not to be at the wheel, even though you are currently anchored. But it is his place of worship and calmness, I guess. But what has Gloria got to say about the broader question?
You admitted.
I would like to suggest that we take a few hours to gather our wits about us, and at the first crack of dawn, we hire a little boat over and we talk to Threadbare, and perhaps he will provide us with directions to manage to find the key or whatever else is required to open the box. This seems like a simple, I don't want to say idiot proof, but a simple plan that we can carry out tomorrow.
I'm not so sure we have the time, Gloria. Somebody set fire to the captain's table, and they might have been confused. They might have believed me when I told them that it was Molly's fault, but I'm pretty sure eventually they will come here and want to have a word with us. And I'm also pretty sure that we don't want to be here for that.
I think that is a good point, because I think it's the end of the evening, so it's nighttime now.
I will point out, I will say very calmly, I said when we first got back here that we should go, and you said we needed to stay. So you have changed your position. I am fine with that, but I just wanted on record that my initial thing was let us get the ever-loving fuck out of here. So if that is the decision that you have made, oh navigator, then
Gloria,
please steer us away.
I don't want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get the fuck to Threadbare Roger, as you just suggested, only without taking a nice break before we do.
Then by all means, hide your way there.
So, who do I cut to find you at the boathouse?
We can
Gloria?
take the goose, right?
Sorry, Gloria discovered that there is a boathouse that has a boat that takes people across the strait.
Yep,
I suppose you could take the goose, yeah.
Why shouldn't we take the goose then?
The only downside of taking the goose is that I will require you to navigate there.
Oh no.
Is it treacherous shoals around that tower?
and navigate is a roll plus Spitfire. I'm very happy if you. When your ship's crew navigates towards a difficult or new destination, to navigate a rolls plus Spitfire. So I'm very happy for you to take the goose. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
unless somebody has a compelling argument why we shouldn't take the goose there.
So in the dead of night, the goose slinks from the harbour and tacks to the north and west.
Yeah.
Let's have you roll to navigate to see how that goes.
And I don't have to spend bonds before rolling, right?
No.
Okay, I can do that after. Okay, right. Cool.
Oh no, hang on. There is a difference. Luck you can spend after. Bonds you have to invoke before.
Huh.
Have I got that the right way around?
No. You spend a bond after you see the roll. You can't spend a bond for yourself. Someone else can spend a bond
for you.
Get a crewman's roll.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's
right. Okay, so I can spend my bond with the goose for somebody else, but not for this roll, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not great. Let me see if there is something else I can do. Because I have this. When I make a move while on your ship, you may spend 1 luck to use plus max bonds with your ship instead of the move's trade.
There you go.
There we go. I will spend this point of luck. I really want to get there.
Roll the dice.
Plus 3 is a lot better than plus 1.
Certainly is. You are the navigator after all.
Yes, it's an 8 and plus 3. We're at 11.
You get there without any trouble. The crew takes a downtime during the journey, and the fates will tell you what strange sights you see on the way. That downtime allows you to recover all your harm. It's a funny kind of downtime because it's going around the corner, but it does give you access to any one of those downtime moves. I know you engineered the possibility. Is there a downtime move there that you think you would like to undertake?
Sabine, you're unmuted if you're talking.
I am mumbling, but thanks for the I mean, Oh yeah. Create an object with 3 tags. And what can I use? What can I do with tags?
You could add tags to an existing item of gear. You
Mhm.
could create something. Tags are, when it's appropriate, it's kind of +1.
Oh, neat. Okay, then I will continue carving on my ship's wheel in order to create some tags there.
Okay,
Well, I mean, I have to roll plus vinegar, which is
you
not
do.
ideal, but you know, if it
Because we
goes
saw
well.
you whittling earlier. You carry on
Exactly.
whittling.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. No, it does not go wrong. Well, it's a 5.
Oh, on a miss. You're missing something crucial. The fates will tell you where you can find it once you do complete this move
Mm,
as if you had rolled 7 to 9.
okay.
Um, you need some soul amber
Ah,
to actually imbue the ship with something.
yeah, okay. I need
It's
some
a
soul.
4-session series, colleagues. What can I
Hmm.
do? Um,
That's fine.
um, anybody else?
Cool. Thank
Ishmael,
you.
do you have any thoughts about how you use the several hours while Einar tacks upwind?
I'm thinking to maybe perform a ritual.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't say like when it says perform a ritual, what exactly, like, to what extent does that entail?
Well, I mean, I think, it's a ritual, Now, in your
Mm,
context, that might be about using a variety of how's it described on your sheet? Under belongings, an array of scalpels, chemicals in cryptically labeled
mm,
bottles.
mm. Yeah, I'm just trying to think like because before me like sounds like a fun downtime. I'm having like a hard time wrapping my head around like what exactly can a ritual like do?
Well, I mean, I think you agree that with me.
Okay. Yeah, okay, hmm,
I mean, tinker would be to make an additional alchemical thing.
yeah. In that case, I think, yeah, I guess in that case, I think it might be better to use Tinker, and I think the thing I want to create is, and this might, you can tell me if this is too much, but I'm thinking of maybe tinkering, like, of getting, like, a +1 to any of the alchemy equipment that I can, like, take out of storage.
I think the
That's
way
too
that
much.
I'd allow you to do this, a successful ritual would give you +1 on the first of those two alchemical things you have.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I think I will do that.
Okay,
So
go
let's cast
ahead.
it. So that's plus Spitfire. Okay, so let's see. That's a 12 again.
On a 10 plus, choose one. The ritual has unintended side effects. You need a final rare component to complete it. That seems odd, doesn't it?
Let me check.
Mhm.
Does that seem odd to you as a structure of a move?
Furniture. And a hit. Let's accomplish this goal. I think.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I think ritual is one of those things where no matter what you do,
It's going to cost you.
you're going to cast something, which I don't mind.
Okay, well, take your pick.
I think that was the most fun. Let's say unintended side effects.
Okay, well, we'll decide that side effect when you use it.
Yeah. But I guess
Yeah.
to maybe just give a quick further up how this is done is I believe like we see Ishmael in her uh operating theater just kind of like taking like the cryptically labeled baths of chemicals and just kind of like pouring them into like test tube, mixing them up, like basically doing like alchemist, kind of a bit like when they do those like how to say those montages of like making the emitting Breaking Bad, like a quick like a scene of just like Ishmael like just like going through the various steps of conducting its like, chemical related preparations.
And what? Because there needs to be some sign that this is a magical ritual to enhance this alchemy.
Yeah,
What? Because we got bubbling, we got popping, we got spatter and burn, we got all of that going. But does it glow with a blue light when you're finished, for
I
instance?
think a supernatural element is that we see that in one step of the process we see Ishmael kind of just like put her hand like into her coat and kind of just kind of like tear off like a piece of herself and just like
Ooh.
place it into the
Okay.
coat.
And into the coat, and a small piece of meat comes out and is dropped into the pot. Fine.
Or a piece of
Um,
bone.
or a piece of bone. Who knows? Yeah. What about Gloria? Does Gloria got any plans for this period of time?
Caleb, have you said anything about what Auntie Bet has told you?
Have I said anything about what Auntie Beth has told me? We could have a scene if you want to find
Yeah.
Caleb. Caleb is looking very morose and he's looking over the edge. Do you want them to, or I could just tell you?
I think well, actually, this is the way I'm going to frame it up. I will say, come up to you and I will say, I would like to, uh, I, I know you use your fists, but do you have a weapon as well?
I do have a club, yes, that
Okay.
I use.
Uh, if you would not object, I would like to work to enchant that club so that it is potent against sirens in case something happens again with my mother.
Ooh, went the
Mm.
crowd.
Mm.
Two
Callum's
sirens with
open
one
up.
stone here, possibly. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you make of that, Callum?
Callum's eyes open wide and he says, I think that could come in handy for both of us. Do what you will. And he like presents, he pulls the club off his belt and presents. It's like a small club with like maybe metal studs in it. And do your magic, whatever protects you from the demon inside you, my friend.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping it's going to protect all of us. So I will perform a ritual to enchant this in that way. Uh, and what, how, again, luck, can that be spent on the roll? I've forgotten how that
No,
works, and I can't
no,
find it.
no. Okay. On the game terms, luck, you begin with zero. If a move tells you to spend luck, you spend it. You can also spend one luck to take plus one forward if you spend it before the roll.
Oh, you
All
can.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So I am going to spend a luck before this to roll this, since it is rolled with Spitfire, with a +3.
Whoa.
Let us see. And I imagine it's me taking the club and me taking a file to my mother's skull and shaving off some powder and then using that to make some paint that I am painting onto this club. 6 and
What?
a 1 is a 7. I'm glad I spent the luck. So 3 makes that just barely a 10.
Just barely is all that it needs to be. On a hit, the ritual accomplishes its goal. On a 10 plus, choose one.
Oof. I think doing this is going to cause me some problems. And I mean that I think that uh, I can feel the scrambling on my skin, that there is a curse brewing under my skin.
Does that
Uh,
sound like a trouble called the itch?
that sounds good. I like it.
And I'm thinking an end point might be once it's used once.
Okay.
Once it's used, the enchantment will disappear and the itch will disappear.
Yeah. The real fear for me is that this is the kind of thing that would manifest if I don't take care of it in time into an oddity. Worry about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, and finally, Callum, you had a bit of time
So,
with
yeah,
Gloria. Is there anything specific you
Gloria
want to
goes
do?
off to do her painting and special magics. And I think I think the goose is sailing, tacking through this bay, this shallow tropical bay, right?
Hmm.
And it's nighttime, right? And let's let the moon's out on the bay, and Callum is feeling morose about not having gotten a lead on the whereabout of his partner's spirit. Um, uh, and he's hanging over the side of the rail of the boat. And I think there are some spinner dolphins um, uh, like playing in the water around the boat in the wake of the boat. And I'm imagining, since he can talk to marine life,
Yeah.
um, that he can speak to them and um, and um, and I think he says, "I wish I could be happy like you are with your mates. I'm all alone." I don't know if this is make dubious friends.
Well, I was about to ask you. I think you just triggered make dubious friends with dolphins. Roll plus polish.
All right.
Because
So
there's
my
lots of squeaking and kind of up on the tail.
they off on the tail. Yeah, they just look like they're having
They're
the
kind of
time of their lives.
whoa, poof, poof,
Dudes.
poof.
Um, um, and okay, roll. Where did I put the roller? My polish, I think, is one. Let me double check that. Um, Interesting. I am one on polish. Um, Oops, that's a five. It's a six with the one. So I have a six. Can I bump that in any way? Or
Somebody else can spend a bond with you if they notice this, because I think they give you a
okay.
trouble. Is what's the most logical trouble for you at the moment? I think this would really piss you off, wouldn't it?
Uh,
If they
Caleb, I will spend a bond if I come up behind you to kind of maybe. We'll be real careful with dolphins. I say it super serious. I say, oh, be real careful with dolphins. They're real. Yeah, yeah. Here's your club.
Oh, it's beautiful, Gloria.
Yeah, yeah. You can talk to dolphins. Just be aware that they're kind of assholes.
They don't look like assholes, but I'll be careful.
That's how they get you.
so, is that
You should
enough?
see how bad unicorns are.
Does that get you to a seven?
I guess you do a seven. Yes.
7 to 9 on a hit. There is a small favor that they're willing to do for you. On a 7 to 9, the fates will tell you what they expect of you in return. Um, I think they expect you to free their queen.
Oh my, that's a big one. Your
She is
queen.
caught in the maw.
She's caught in the mole. Oh. And
Okay,
is the small favor
you
that
can you can
they
put it in your back pocket. Just write down what it
Oh,
you.
okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't need to be one you use now.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I would like to know what it is, though. No. You can tell me what it is when you spend it.
Well, I mean, I think what he was wanting was for them to like give him some kind of guidance of where he might search, and maybe they're sending him to the mall, and they said, by the way, while you're there, you better do this thing for us.
Exactly.
Okay.
In fact, it's the king. It's their king, not their queen.
Okay.
That makes more sense. Okay. And so you arrive at the tower. The goose moors at the tower. It's dawn. What do we? I mean, all of this started with Gloria trying to find out what's in the trunk. So, Gloria, I'm going to come to you first. You get to the tower. There's a
It
big
wasn't
door.
Gloria. It was me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gloria came up with the name.
I did the investigation.
You did. You did. I'm sorry. I made that mistake last time. So Einar, you get off the boat. There are these big stone steps up from the dock to this big grand door that is worn by the sea. It's, and there's a huge knocker on it in the shape of the bottom jaw of a skull.
Amazing. Okay, I will for a bit or for once when I will step down, go there, and while I go, I pass the ship's bell and I will give it a good loud ring, just so they know someone's coming. Right? We're not here on a stealth mission for once. We're not trying to plunder the tower yet. And then I'll go over and look at that thing and say, you got to be careful, right? Say to it, do I knock you or do I just talk to you?
Silence.
Okay, then I knock it.
Boom. How many times? Boom, boom, boom.
Until somebody reacts.
You knock it once and the door creaks open.
Oh, see? Then I've stopped knocking.
And that's our first break. It is 4 minutes past. Can I suggest 1/4 past, back in our seats? See you then. We come back as the door of the mysterious tower on darkness, Einar. What do you do?
Okay. I'm staring into the darkness. I'm going, hello, anybody at home? We're looking for Threadbare Roger.
Do you want to size up a suspicious situation?
Why not? I mean, it could roll badly, right?
Roll
make
plus
things
vinegar.
Worse. I don't have vinegar. Where is the? Let me just.
It's
size
a basic
up.
move.
I found the move. Yes. Oh, nice. This is important.
Are you looking to break in without disturbing?
No, it's a 6.
6.
I'm not looking to break in. I'm just standing there and yelling.
Oh, but you do have +1 vinegar.
I do. You're right. I raised it.
On a 7 to 9.
Oh, then I don't have the other move because I raised my vinegar. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for noticing, Don.
You may hold an additional +1 if you stick your nose somewhere you shouldn't. And hold is spent to ask the following questions. So you could get the answer to one question before deciding whether to stick your nose somewhere it shouldn't go.
Oh, okay. I think I will go with what here is. Oh, no, what here is useful to me and my crew. That seems fair.
There is a distinct sense of the supernatural and magic here. And I think that you've already divined that chest is not going to open to mortal or mundane means. So this does seem to be a place where you will be able to get the help that you wanted. You called Threadbare Roger, didn't you?
And I can spend a hold, blah, blah, blah. You may hold an additional one if you stick your nose somewhere you shouldn't.
And that involves going into the darkness.
Yeah, okay. Can I take a torch? Because
of course you can.
Then I will go in because nobody's answering. So I'm going
Yeah.
in, sticking my nose where it doesn't belong, and I
Gloria, Ishmael, Callum, you're clustered at the door with Einar. Einar knocked, pushed the door open, is going on with a torch, which was happily placed in a sconce just beyond the door, is disappearing into the darkness. Are you following Gloria? Or are you waiting to see what happens?
I will see what Ishmael and Caleb are doing.
Ishmael, you're a naturally curious individual in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, Ishmael doesn't hesitate. Ishmael silently follows behind Einar.
Callum, what about you?
Callum shoots Gloria a look like questioning, and he cocks his head to one side. Is
Well,
it safe?
oh, no, I don't think so at all, but we will let us follow at a distance. That way, when we hear the screams, we are closer to the door for our runaway.
Um,
I have to protect Einar.
Yeah,
Well,
and that maybe stimulated that urge by the fact that the torchlight winks out.
okay, we should probably pick up the pace.
Do any of the rest of you pick up a torch?
I will.
Okay. I know. There's a breeze and the torch goes out.
okay.
You turn around, you can see the dawn through the doorway, and you can see the others silhouetted there. But in terms of your immediate location, darkness. What do you do?
I will spend one hole to ask how can I safely find Threadbare Roger.
Aha! Why don't you do that, having pushed your nose somewhere else? A pair of eyes. Quite how you can see those eyes, because it's dark, but they look like just hovering eyes in the darkness ahead, and a voice says, "Come this way, sir."
Oh. Okay. I'm not super great at seeing in the dark, though. Can you maybe light this place up a little, if you don't mind?
Master Roger prefers the dark, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Can you guide me? Because if I stumble and break my nose, I will spill blood all over this place, and I assume that, or maybe he likes that.
Just follow me, sir.
Okay.
And the eyes begin to move away down the corridor.
Einar, if you wish, I could potentially do some of my expertship and would see about maybe granting you some better vision in the dark.
Ooh.
Though that there is a risk associated.
Is there now?
There's always a risk when you go under the knife.
Yeah, I don't.
think it's quite tricky to go under the knife, given that Einar is down this corridor following some disembodied eyes, and you are just crossing the threshold.
Thanks for the offer, but maybe this is the wrong time to do an operation. And also, I do only have the one eye. You can use the other eye and make it better and put it back in. I'm fine with that. You still have it, right?
I have better uses for that one.
It's kind of my eye, you know that?
Gloria and Callum, I think you judged that it was time to follow. Yeah?
Yep.
We did.
And you can hear rather than see Einar and then Ishmael's footsteps. Click, clop, click, clop, click, clop in the darkness. Gloria?
We'll follow politely. If we're told to douse the torch by a sinister voice, then I will douse the torch. But
it doesn't. You will make better progress, perhaps, than they will. And so you're closing up. Einar, Ishmael, there is a slight glow of torchlight from behind you because Gloria and Callum are making slightly better progress. And when you come abreast, there is a flash of a head floating in the air ahead of you, and then the torch goes out.
A human head?
Yes, dry skin over a taut, tightly wrinkled over a skull. Sorry about that, sir. Master Roger prefers the dark. You follow the eyes.
Yep.
Presumably the head is floating away from you down this corridor. You stumble a few times, but I think that you find yourself climbing a circular stair. It is only slightly worrying because you discover that the circular stair is around the inside of the wall without a banister. So running your left hands up the wall, we see you climbing up until you come to another door. And the head floats out into the middle of the tower and says, "Just knock, sir."
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, knocking.
Come in.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll open the door and I'll say good day. Sir, I assume you're Threadbare Roger.
I could be. Who's asking?
I'm called Einar the Seal Taker, and I am this is the seals, like the seals that bind things, not like the animals, just to be clear here. And yeah, of the goose. If you were Threadbare Roger,
His eyes go wide and says, "The goose."
Yes.
Come in, come in, come in.
Hey. Oh, sorry, I think that was your table. I assume it's dark in there.
No, it has
Okay.
windows.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Come in, come in, come in. From behind his desk. A bald man, long hair, long beard, once perhaps rich
Alan?
robe. Oh,
a bald man with long hair?
with bald, long locks off the
Oh,
side.
okay.
Long
Thank you.
beard. And a kind of robe that might once have been quite impressive, but is now really rather threadbare. Ishmael, you're a man of learning, and this is clearly a library. What do you do?
Ishmael can do like, I guess, take a glance around and then just gonna assume that since Einar already began talking with Tebada, just like took the charge, Einar's going to take communications because Ishmael isn't really a people person.
And I
Despite the
apologize.
profession.
I keep misgendering Ishmael because I cannot get Ishmael from Moby Dick out of my head.
Yeah,
so I apologize.
Yes, I think Ishmael's going to take a look around and seeing that Einar has the whole conversation covered, Ishmael's just going to begin. He's going to like walk up to like the nearest bookcase and he's just going to begin like perusing around like and seeing like, what books are in this library.
Okay, I'll give you some information on that if we're here long enough. Gloria, any reaction to the circumstances or calm?
I'm leaning against a wall, waiting to hear how this goes down.
Callum?
Now that he doesn't see a direct threat from this little old man, at least he doesn't perceive one, to Einar, I think he's relaxed a bit. And I think he is just wandering around the room. Yeah, taking in. Is it just books? Or is there
Um,
anything that might catch his attention? Yeah.
there is a low, rather uncomfortable looking threadbare cot in the corner, but that seems to be about it.
I could live there.
But a number of pigeons lofting in the rafters. And he casts an appraising eye over you, all of you, and he says, "A lover, a dead one, a daughter, and a marked one, born by a goose. How very interesting.
Was that a riddle?
I think it was just an observation, young man."
It's just us.
Oh, oh, okay.
And he points, and he points at Aina. You
Yeah.
are a lover,
I know.
or at least you are loved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a lover. I'm just, it's a complicated relationship, okay?
You, he says, pointing at Gloria, you are a daughter of a remarkable mother.
That is not a word I would use to describe her.
I know some other words.
Yes.
You, points at Ishmael, you're the dead one, or pretty much.
I guess that's one way to look at it. And I would describe it as more than that, personally.
There is probably more to all of you than this, but it is the fact that you and the marked one came on a goose.
Yep.
That's what I've been expecting.
Okay.
But what I don't know is why I'm expecting it.
You have a reputation for knowing stuff, and we
Oh, I
need,
know a great deal, as I have just demonstrated.
yes, exactly. And we need to know something about something else.
What else?
We found something, and look, I know how
Is
these
it the
things go.
gift of the goose?
I guess, yeah.
Mm.
It's not an egg, precisely. More of a chest.
Yes. And are you struggling to crack the egg, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, now that you say it.
Well, how could I help?
You might know how to open this thing, or tell us if it will unleash the maelstrom that devours the entire ocean. That would also be nice to know.
All these things are possible.
Okay.
Until you open it, you cannot be entirely sure.
Okay. But it could also be a treasure, right?
It could be many things, but you won't know which of those things until you open it.
But we don't know how to open it.
Exactly so. Exactly so.
Mm-hmm.
What is necessary?
I
Sorry.
think he wants something.
Yeah, I know he wants something. I'm just waiting for him to tell us what.
I want what you find at the bottom of the well.
What
And
well?
young man, that is by way of a riddle.
I knew it was going to be a riddle. I knew there would be a riddle because you are a riddling kind of man. I could tell by looking at you.
Oh, well, I take that as a great compliment, young man. Thank you. What you must do to crack the egg is the lover must kiss, the daughter must bring her mother, the dead one must sacrifice a life, and the marked one must crack the egg.
I can crack an egg.
I feel things are not even among us, looking at Ishmael.
Ishmael doesn't like just looks at the books like there's not appear that's actually like heard what Threadbare just said.
I think as you, my guess is that as he's been talking to you, your focus on the books has drifted a bit.
Mhm.
But there is definitely something odd about these books.
How can Ishmael discern what is odd of these books?
That sounds like size up a
Yeah.
suspicious situation to me.
Yeah, okay. That's plus vinegar.
It is.
Yeah, let's do and just see what this entails. That's a 9.
9 on a 7 to 9. Hold 1. So you can ask me a question, and if you stick your nose somewhere it shouldn't, you can ask me a second question.
Okay, I guess the obvious question would be what strange secrets lie just beneath the surface?
All of them. As you move around, you are conscious that this library seems to contain all the books that people say have been lost, burned in libraries, lost in war, sunk in the seas. There are first editions here of books that people speculate about. They are immensely valuable in theory. Do you want to put stick your nose somewhere you shouldn't in order to ask
Yeah.
another question?
Yeah, why not? So I think the and you can correct me if this is not sticking your nose somewhere it doesn't belong. But maybe like after like realizing that, oh yeah, this is where basically all the knowledge that's lost is Ishmael is going to just stop in her stack. Imagine that she was constantly moving and perusing the books, and after she realized she stopped in her stacks, and then after a second or two, reached out and is going to just take one book of the
Fine.
bookshelf.
Take a book and ask me a second question.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess what here is useful to me or my crew.
The very book you happen to have picked out is an atlas of the archipelago. And it says to you, I can take you anywhere, but I need to know I'm important to you.
Hmm.
How could you
I-
demonstrate that?
Huh.
You can clear
Hmm.
exhausted, by the way, I've just realized.
Yeah, okay.
I've done it.
Okay. How can I demonstrate? I think how Ishmael, I guess, demonstrates this, and I'm happy for this to be vetoed by any of the other characters. And I think Ishmael you can turn it to the pedagogist and just say, hmm, I like this one. I show the atlas and just say, why not an exchange? We get the atlas and in exchange you get half that crew.
Oh, I don't want your crew. It's what she wants that matters. Congratulations, by the way. A ring appears on your ring finger. You are
Oh,
enamored of the book.
okay.
Trouble, enamored of the book. End point, get rejected or consummate your love.
Now, if I only knew how to spell enamored.
It's if you look at the troubles tab, it's one of the sample troubles.
Oh, the sample is okay.
So, Ishmael has married a book. Einar is loved by the sea. Callum has lost his love, and Lowell is closely related to Mummy Dearest. What happens next, Gloria?
I say, if I may, are you going to tell us where this well is?
No,
Fair enough.
I'm sure you know it when you see it. Bye. It goes dark.
Oh, that was weird.
It goes light again. The room is empty.
Still weird.
Empty of everything, the books as well.
A completely bare room.
Cool.
What do you do now? Do we cut back to the goose? Or have you got something else in mind?
Yeah. I think Ishmael, like if no one's going to point out her willingness to sacrifice half the crew for an atlas, he's just going to silently go back down to towards the goose.
No, you're okay. The sacrifice you've made is that you're now married to the book. Or more technically, engaged to the book.
Engaged. Betrothed.
So that was what was meant by sacrifice your life.
I didn't say that.
Getting married to a book. Okay. I mean,
I stopped the
congratulations, Ishmael. Are you going to throw a party?
So I'm going to cut you back to the goose unless you tell me not to.
Yeah. No, let's go back.
And I think it's time to navigate somewhere.
Where are we going to navigate, though? I mean, I do. Has anybody heard of this thing that could be a well? Is that the maw or something else?
I wonder if I don't know. I was thinking Ishmael could ask the book.
Yeah, sure.
The book is an atlas after all.
No. Cool.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Ishmael.
Yeah.
I think this is parlay, isn't it?
Yeah, I would be proud if I have to do with the book.
Yeah, when you parley with an interested party, tell them what you want and what you're offering. And roll plus polish.
Okay. It's a good thing that I have a -1 in polish.
But what do you want, and what will you offer in return?
Yeah, so Ishmael wants to know the location of this well, though she's pretty certain it is the Ma. But anyway, good to be sure.
And what are you offering?
What is
You're engaged? Your fiance?
Flowers are traditional.
And actually, you have a large number of plants growing on the deck.
Right?
Oh,
which grants you one plant-based resource.
Which we haven't specified yet.
No.
But some of them are probably flowers.
Yeah, Caleb elbows Ishmael and says, "You have to do something nice for her. Pick the flowers."
Okay. Ishmael just like gives like a blank look to Calm, and then I guess it will just like not pick up the flowers, but will like tell the atlas that in return for this information, she will offer up the vegetation and the goose.
Hey, no, but wait a minute. That was not what we were saying. This is not your ship, Ishmael.
I mean, bear in mind that you may want to ask her another question at some later date. You may not want to bet the full load on your first question. I'm just saying.
Ishmael just like sarcastic, like kind of like a smirk, and it's like they say, isn't it a good thing to have a positive first impression?
Yeah, so start out with one particularly pretty flower. I mean, first good impression is not overwhelming somebody with no. You gotta take it slow, man. You gotta take it slow, lady.
She's forgotten love. It was too long ago.
Well,
Has to forget something you never have.
oh, that's kind of sad, but
It depends on your perspective, Didi. We see how
no.
good it leads to the two of you. Ishmael looks between Callum and Einar.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't think the rest of the crew are going to let you sacrifice the goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I guess for starters, like Ishmael will be like, okay, that's after like already currently fully grown flowers, like leave the vines that are still growing alone.
Yeah, yeah. You can harvest a very attractive bouquet of flowers with one of your scalpels, and put them in a vase on the shelf next to where you're going to keep your fiance.
Yeah,
Um,
so
and the
yeah,
answer to the question on that basis,
let us roll the dice now.
yeah.
That's a 6.
Wow. On a hit, they go, oh, I see. So they want to do something for them first. Do you?
Can I maybe help out here
You
by
could.
helping Ishmael pick out the
The
proper
right flowers.
flowers?
You can certainly spend a bond with Ishmael.
I can. Oh, I need to spend a bond with Ishmael. Okay. Explain to me. If I have a bond with Ishmael, I will spend it. But if I can only spend bonds with this NPC, what is the bond with the ship for then?
You could spend it with the ship. I mean, you do spend it with the ship when you use your bonds to do things with the ship.
No, I spend luck to do that.
Oh, you spend luck in order to use your bonds. Well,
No, I don't. No, I use my bonds as my stat in that case. I'm just wondering. It's fine. Let's just continue.
No, ship moves. So when the ship makes a move.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, the ship moves. I forgot about that. Cool. Yes, nice. Thank you.
The goose has her own moves.
Yeah. Okay. I'm spending a bond with Ishmael. I have one, so there we go.
And that is what you saying, no, don't these flowers.
Yeah.
Because you are the lover here.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know all about casting lilies into water.
Yeah.
So that turns that fail into a not so fail. They want you to do something for them first. Do it, or they can ignore the compel. I think that what she wants to do is to have a hammock next to your.
I can speed that.
She wants you to put a hammock up next to yours, so she can sleep in the hammock next to you. Not the same hammock, she says.
Okay. I think Ishmael in that case does abide and will can like dictate to like get next to the hammock set up in her operating in her like quarters.
Well, her quarters are your quarters.
Same quarters.
Yeah. I mean, no, you don't have enough quarters for a book. And so
we've got a lot of crew.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of crew. Busy on your trireme banks of oars and pulling sails and all the rest. So let us set course for the moor.
I was afraid of that. Cool. Okay, I'm out of luck though, so I have to roll Spitfire. Okay. This has worked so well before, so come on. Nope, it's a 4.
It's a 4.
And maybe you should use some other dice.
But then you do have bonds with the ship, don't you?
Yeah, but I can't spend them on my own moves, can I?
You can spend it on the ship's move.
Okay.
That's why the bond works for the ship.
Oh, this is a ship move, and I can.
Yeah,
Oh,
navigate.
okay.
You roll the
Okay.
dice
Yeah, okay,
as
I
the
see, I see.
ship's move.
Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, in which case I got 3 bonds, and I think I don't want to mess this up with going to the mall. I mean, seems like kind of would be bad. 7 to 9 might be bad enough if I'm out of luck and bonds, but you know what? Come on. Okay, there we go.
Okay, 7 to 9. You encounter trouble on the journey and must contend with it before reaching your destination.
Okay.
Clouds loom on the horizon behind you.
Oh.
Einar's storm
Mm.
is catching up. But more significant is that Leviathan that has been following you all this time.
Mm.
And in an effort to avoid Einar's storm, you have a choice. And I think this is something that we will cut to the ship's mess while the 4 of you discuss whether you are, one, going to weather Einar's storm and avoid the Leviathan, or avoid the Leviathan and weather the storm. Which one do you want to avoid? Which one do you want to therefore have to confront? What do you think?
So we're all around the mess table.
You're all around the
We're
mess
at the
table.
mess, and it's becoming clear.
Mm. Yeah,
Well,
we can.
the 4 of you and the book, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
the book.
Don't forget the book.
Yeah. What's the book's name?
Atlas.
Atlas.
Yes.
Oh, Atlas. Okay. Well,
But
for a
she
player,
prefers Atlasia.
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 Okay, Atlasia. Fine. From a player perspective, I think it might be more interesting to do the Leviathan thing.
So Einar, you're the one who comes and tells us this.
Yeah, we have a bit of a problem. We can either go through the storm, which not ideal because we don't have sails to catch. I mean, okay, our masts can break, but if our wheels break, the ship's fucked. But we also do not actually have weapons on the ship. But maybe we can do something with the Leviathan.
Oh, I feel like maybe we should face the storm. You've been so interested in my newfound love life, Einar. Why don't we go and see a bit into yours?
Yeah, look, I know you're dead and probably won't drown, but the other people around here might, you know? I mean,
You
I
say that
won't,
as
but
if Leviathan won't take this ship down.
hmm?
You say that as if Leviathan won't take this ship down.
I think we might have more of a chance with the Leviathan, but if
Leviathan was the reason I got the way I am. Since my last ship got taken down by one. Personally, I think as a bet with the storm.
Okay, we have 1 vote in favor of confront the storm. Callum? Leviathan?
Callum
or
just
storm?
leans over to Glory and says, what should we do?
Well, you can't punch a storm, but you can punch a Leviathan.
Hey, that's a good point.
With that attitude, you can't.
Okay, so given that information, Callum, how do you vote?
I vote for the Leviathan. Although he's fearsome, I saw him in the telescope. But you can fight a Leviathan, like Gloria says. You can't fight a storm.
Gloria, which way do you vote?
I certainly engineered it, so I think I'm also for the Leviathan.
Einar?
yeah, no, I was for the Leviathan all along because
Fine.
I can go and punch the Leviathan or poke the Leviathan.
Now, the way that sea combat works is you can use the ship moves to try and put yourself in a position relative to your target, but then you use personal moves to attack,
Okay.
parley, whatever it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so looking at what's available, it seems to be that take it head on, just, steer for the Leviathan,
Yeah.
escape, outrun the Leviathan, outmaneuver, put yourself in a position of advantage relative to the Leviathan.
Mhm.
Caleb throws his arm around Ishmael's shoulder and says, "Don't worry. I'll protect you."
Yeah, Ishmael just
But the
like
book
takes a
says,
hand and like
take
removes
your
it.
hand off my fiance.
Oh, she's the jealous one. And he lifts his hand slowly off Ishmael's shoulder.
So, what approach do you want to take to the Leviathan?
I mean, we could also try to escape because that's what our ship's actually kind of good at. But I think
It's really not that good at like we have a -2 on speed. We cannot escape.
nobody has any bonds with
But
the
we have
ship.
a boat. We have boats with a ship.
Yeah.
I have bonds with the
And,
ship, yeah.
Yeah.
and we can spend those bonds instead of speed. So, because it's a ramshackle ship.
Well, it is.
You can.
So we don't have to roll the speed because that would be terrible. We try to escape. We could also, I mean, just try to take this thing heads on and see if Callum can punch
Punch the
it.
Leviathan.
Punch.
Yeah. And maybe a narwhal can poke it or something.
Oh, come on. There was talk
Yeah.
last time of wanting to see
Yeah.
the narwhal do
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I think like from a strategic standpoint, choosing to escape and then just dumping everything all the bonds into speed to escape would be the smart move.
Yeah.
But facing the Leviathan is the more fun option.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I will tell you something I don't think I've mentioned. Leviathan blood is a magical and very, very valuable ink.
Oh, gee, I hadn't thought of that.
So, what is the plan? Maneuver? Head on? It looks like escape's taken a bit of a backseat.
Outmaneuver? No. I mean, hey, head on is probably our best option
Yeah.
because we're not very good at that, but we're also not very good at speed and well.
Okay. So, I think is the intention here that Einar is going to get in the water, go full narwhal.
Let's see how close. Let's first see what situation we get into with
Well, yeah, but
Leviathan.
I think for you to have the fictional positioning to respond to getting close enough, you're not going to be at the wheel. You're going to be at the side, ready to dive at this thing in full narwhal. So, because I want somebody else to get to use a ship move.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's fair. I will get my sealskin and give the wheel to, I don't know,
Callum is
Gloria.
Gloria.
No, thank you. I will pass on taking the wheel. Thank you very much.
Ishmael,
Callum,
you have the con.
you have the con, Ishmael. I was wondering if Jose could use a luck. Can't I like create something? Isn't luck, is that twist of fate where I create add a detail or something?
Yeah.
I have a move I want to activate before you do that. If I
Oh,
may.
okay, you go. Yeah.
I will come over to you, Caleb, and I will say, would you like a little more power?
More power is always good, Gloria. What kind of question is that?
Absolutely. Then we need to make a little contract here if we could.
A deal? You're making a deal with me?
Yes.
I'm all ears.
I will share with you some of my gift. And you can use this to protect yourself or set yourself on fire or create fire around you. So how does that sound?
I like it.
All right, then I will slice my thumb and I will have Caleb slice his thumb and the ink there, and I will roll Infernal Contract.
Yeah.
Ah, when you create a contract with someone to give them some of your demon's power, state the terms and roll plus max.
Yes, this only lasts for this battle against the this one for this time, I think is sort of the terms to set up for both of us.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm going to roll, and that will be a 7.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, both of you hold 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means you can spend that hold to use one of my powers that I have in bold
Okay,
under my channel power.
Up
got
there
it.
on row 20.
Yeah. It also gives me a free use of it as well, which is the other reason I wanted to do this. So
Never, always thinking of her self-interest, Gloria.
100% forward, maximum
Um,
effort.
so Ishmael, you are steering for the leviathan that is coming head on at you. I think is slightly surprised that you have turned on it, but it doesn't realize you're trying to escape the storm. So I'm seeing Callum at the bow, uh, Einar with Callum at the bow, ready to take action in fish form. Is Gloria also at the prow? Oh, you are muted.
I'm waiting to get my chance to fight a Leviathan. Absolutely.
Fine. And I think that is where our logical next break should be. Sorry, were you going to say something, Jose?
I want to say add one thing to the tableau. I don't
Please.
know if I need to spend the luck to do it, but that we have a big whale harpoon on board that Callum has in his hand.
I am very happy for Callum to own a harpoon.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it is not Einar.
Right.
Yes.
Don't
Um,
hit Einar.
so it's 2 minutes past. I'm going to suggest we're back in our seats at 10 past the hour, and we will get past the Leviathan and see what happens. See you in a bit. Okay. And we cut straight back after that commercial break to the Goose charging. The crew are at the oars. They are rowing, all 100 of them, powering the Goose towards the narwhal, towards the Leviathan. Um, let us have Ishmael roll the ship move, take it head on, roll plus steadfast, and the Goose's steadfast is -1.
Yeah, but wasn't there something because this is a that we can use bonds, or is it that only
Yeah,
for speed?
that only works when you escape.
Only for escape. Okay, then
But sorry, she could spend a bond
yeah,
with the
Yes,
ship on the roll.
yeah.
yeah, we'll spend or I just do it first
I
and then
mean, you
see
can
if I'll
do you
spend.
can spend the bond afterwards, can't you?
Yeah,
I can't get this fixed.
Yeah.
So roll the dice. Let's see how it goes before you spend a bond.
okay. So
Roll
that's
plus
an
-1.
okay. That would be a 9. That's an 8.
Well, that's not bad, is it? I mean, if you had 2 bonds with the Goose, you could make that a 10.
I only have one, unfortunately.
Ah, right. So no point spending it. So, on a hit, choose whether you get close enough to board, which I take to mean hand-to-hand combat, or get broadside with the ship's weapons on target. Um, on a 7 to 9, your enemy's completely ready for you regardless.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to this out to the rest of the table. Do we wanna get close enough for the rest of you to board, or do we just wanna
Oh,
be close enough to
I
attack?
think
Oh
so. I
yeah.
mean, short of
Yeah, okay.
throwing Einar's narwhal form at it, I think that you need to get up close and personal.
Yeah, okay.
So as the Goose is powering towards it, the 3 of you are near the front, ready to let loose, and then it rises up above you. What do you do? I think I'm gonna start with Gloria, who is our kind of close support weapon.
That is me essentially getting as close as I can and starting it up and hurling fireballs at it.
Fine. You do that without needing to roll anything.
Well, I
What
actually
do
do
you?
have to roll.
Ah,
I spend my last luck to activate. Oh no, I'll spend the hold I have first, so I can save that luck to do that. And I will roll with Spitfire. Spitfire is a 2, I believe. It is. And DD dice. Rolling. I've got cool tentacle dice. That is a 6 and a 3 plus 2 is an 11. So,
wow. What kind of damage do these fireballs do? Do we know?
yes, they are 2 harm, dangerous, fire, area, loud.
Fine. I think that technically, Leviathan's harm is measured in amounts of wreck, like a ship. But I think that you have set the Leviathan afire. Yeah,
Sounds
your
good to
unholy fire.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now this will last for the scene, so I can do other things. That was just an activation roll.
fine. So, the where do you try to hit it? You know, on the nose. What
What?
does it have a
Can you
nose?
catch Leviathan with an hook? Uh, uh, in the mouth.
Right. So, you know, and yeah,
Absolutely.
fine.
Alan, what does a leviathan look like? I don't
Well,
know if we've ever asked the question.
I think that I've put tentacles in to show where Leviathan are to be found.
Okay.
But I think Leviathan come in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
So in the map, I've put a sea serpent in as the one following you.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a long sinuous, and I think we might see the tail come up on the other side of the goose. You know, so it might be trying to wrap itself around the goose. Einar, do you need to do anything specific to turn into a?
I have no idea. I've never tried this. 1 turn, take +1 Venom Guard, Spitfire, you are wild, choose 1, and easily distractible or easily fooled. I am now easily distractible. And I'm compelled to do what my animal self wants. However, I will still turn into a narwhal and dive into the Leviathan
Okay.
because I have a horn, right?
Okay,
I'm a
so
narwhal.
you have a narwhal horn.
Yes.
So this is get into a scrap. Roll plus
Yeah.
blood.
Okay, that's what I'm not very good at. But you know what? I will roll with my own dice because this thing has betrayed me. You have betrayed me often enough. Roll for your party. You have. So let's see if these will betray me as well. It's an 8. It's an 8. They have
It's
not
an
betrayed
8.
me.
It's an 8. Okay. On a hit, deal your weapons harm to your opponent. Do we know what?
No, I have no idea what kind of harm a narwhal's horn will do to a leviathan.
Yeah. Now, weapons, I think that this is the equivalent of
sword or rapier or something.
Yeah, something like that. I think
If I may say, narwhals are known to tear the sides of ships open with those horns. I would suggest that it does
one
wreck.
One wreck.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 wreck plus 7 to 9, or deal half your weapons harm rounded down and pick one of the following options.
Okay.
Do you want to go see something from them, force them into a precarious position, intimidate them and compel them to back off? It would be no wreck.
I mean, let me, where is it? Get into scrap. There we go. I hit deal your weapons damage or deal half your weapons damage, round it down, pick 1. So if I choose the second one, I don't do any damage, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's also boring. Come on, I will do some damage here.
1 wreck
before I get distracted and and do something else.
Your opponent may respond how they like.
Yeah, that's
A
okay.
coil of its tail constricts on the goose and does 1 wreck.
Okay, that's not that one. Oh, my shit. Wow. Can't do that. Bad sea
Leviathan.
creature thing. Bad Leviathan.
Okay.
I'll poke you
so,
again.
no, so maximum is steadfast plus 3. Steadfast plus, so your maximum wreck is 2. So that's there we go. Okay, so I mark the top 2. No, sorry, I marked it. There we go. So 3 is always marked. Let me just do something with that. There we go. So 1 wreck takes you down from +3 to +2. It's unclear to me in the rules how this is applied, so I'm working with a bit of magic here. Callum, next. What do you do, Callum?
So I think Callum's standing at the prow, right?
Oh, I think Callum has edged out onto the bowsprit.
Right, of course. Balanced perfectly there as the ship is in the coils of the tail of the Leviathan. Maybe a light rain has begun to fall, but at the edge of the storm that we had avoided. And I think Callum is going to try to use the power that Gloria gave him to light his spear on fire somehow, even though it's a metallic spear.
Oh,
This
but
is
it's
magic,
magic
right?
fire.
It's magic fire. You can have a flaming sword. You can have a flaming spear,
Exactly
right?
so. Exactly so. And you want to get into a scrap with this thing with your
Yeah. Do
harpoon,
I
your
have
flip.
to, when I'm using Gloria's power, do I have to roll for something with that, or do
No,
I?
just
No,
spend the hole to get the power.
spend the hold to get the power. Okay.
Yeah. But
Well, I
you're
spend the
going
hold.
to implement the power using the yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And so
do your thing.
then
Roll
it's a
plus blood.
scrap, right?
Then it's
Roll
into a
plus
scrap,
blood.
indeed.
All right. I rolled a 9, and I think do I have 1 blood? I think I might have 1 blood. Yeah.
Okay, I'm
That's a
almost
10.
certain it's not 0. So on a 10, on a hit, deal your weapons harm. I think that I think this magical fire needs to do wreck. So I'm going
Okay.
to mark a wreck from your first attack, Gloria. And Jose, I think that the fire turns your harpoon into a weapon able to do wreck. Yeah? Do you
Yeah,
want
and
to
I
do
think
wreck, or do you want to do half, i.e. no wreck, rounded down, and get one of those bullet pointed?
Oh, where are those? I was trying to find those when you were
Okay,
talking
so
about the
basic moves,
basic
get
moves.
into a scrap.
Oh, and get into a scrap. Oh, I see. No, I want to do the damage.
Fine, fine.
Yeah, I
So
think so I think he's hurling it. It's a snake's head, right?
yeah,
And its mouth is kind of charred from where it got hit by the fireball, and but it raises up its chin as because it's going to come down, and that's when he throws the harpoon to try to get into the throat,
fine, fine.
the flaming harpoon.
The flaming harpoon, +5 flaming harpoon into the neck of the monster. Ishmael, ship move. Is there anything you want to try and do with the ship?
Ah, I guess maneuver is probably like the only thing we can actually do
I think
in
so.
this case because we already like got an leviathan more or less. So I guess
Yeah.
outmaneuver,
So,
which
backwater port oars.
yeah, so dealing with a -2. Okay, fun. Okay. Another question. The one who's at the helm can only use ship moves. They cannot use any of their own actions.
I know you could. No. I jumped to the ship move because I wondered whether you wanted to do one. If you don't want to do a ship move, you are perfectly able to do an action of your own.
Okay, so just so I understand, doing your own move or a ship move is an either or situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So in effect, you're abandoning the con to go, and wrestle with the Klingons in the transporter room.
Okay. I think at the moment we're in a pretty good position, unless someone can prove me otherwise. Automatic gas fictionally we're in a pretty good position.
I mean, I wondered whether you wanted to use any of your alchemical weaponry.
Yeah, I was thinking that, so my explosives won't do much because they only do harm. So I'm thinking of potentially using a stink bomb to stun the
Okay.
Leviathan.
+1 for a clever trick to stun the Leviathan.
I will also notice that we will get to see what was the unintended side effect from my caster ritual as well from this.
And can I just check, Jose, did Callum get a 10 on that last one? You have what is called the ante, in the sense of upping the ante.
Oh,
So
right.
that is the equivalent of a bond to spend any which way you want,
Oh,
right?
I see.
It's a position of advantage
Within this scene. Yeah.
within this scene.
Yeah.
So sorry, Ishmael. Uh, you're going to have to get this kind of into its mouth or up close to it, aren't you?
Yeah, Ishmael doesn't want like jump out of the Leviathan. Ishmael like will stay like on the deck, like close to the steel ship's steering wheel. But you can I guess take a moment to just like let go of the wheel down to the side, and he's going to basically try and lob this stink bomb either into its mouth or preferably into its nostril.
Well, in order to get into the swashbuckling sense of this, I think we see you're ducking under and over the coils of the beast as it wraps round. You've handed the con to one of the crew, and I see you kind of clambering up the foremast so you can get reasonably close to the head of this thing, and then you try your clever trick.
Yeah.
Does that
So
seem fair?
yeah, that seems fair. So it's plus vinegar, which makes it a +2 because this sting bomb itself gives me a +1
+1.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay. On a 7 to 9, your trick works, but there's a catch.
There's also the unintended side effect as well.
Do I get to do the unintended side effect or do you?
Let me just check. The unintended side effect, it doesn't say.
Then I think I need those of you above water uh, to stand your ground in the face of a gust of stink coming off the bomb. So, Gloria,
Fair
uh,
enough.
when you stand your ground in the face of a compel to be slightly confused and stunned and sickened, spend a bond with someone, explain how they're inspiring you to overcome yourself, and roll plus blah.
Oh,
Is
let
there
us
a
see.
bond that you could tip
That
in
may
here?
be. I do have a bond with Ishmael. That's my last bond.
Okay.
So
So,
I
how
roll flat.
what's going through your head with the fact that you're having to stand up in the face of Ishmael's
This
apparent
is not
effort to
what we should
help?
be worrying about. Why? Why?
So, +1, the person inspiring you is right there. You
Yep,
don't have a second bond, I think.
that is correct.
Um,
So,
you are not currently facing your vice, I think.
no, I'm not.
So +1.
+1.
Can I ask a question before he rolls?
Yeah.
I have this move, Heart of Gold, um,
Oh,
and it says I could use a bond. I think I have a bond with Gloria still, to provide them a steady hand or word and give them a 10 plus while standing their ground. Is that something I do before they roll?
I think I am happy for you to do that after.
After? Okay. All right. Let's see
Yeah,
what happens.
Let
because
us
that's
see
the
what
way
I
we've been
roll
using
here.
bonds.
Plan B.
I'm rolling with a +1, and the dice are a 9, a 4, and a 5.
Oh, you don't need my help, Gloria.
Oh
No.
my God.
Is that in fact a 10?
That is, in fact, a 10.
On a 10 plus, you pull it off spectacularly. Mark 1 luck.
That is something I needed.
Indeed so. And the Leviathan's head is kind of confused. It is now confused. Whoever has a go at it, it will not be in a position to fight back because of that stunned effect. So I think we go back to I think I'm going to go to Einar in the
Yeah.
water. Because Einar is oh, sorry, Callum, you need to stand your ground. Oh no, because you were out on the bowsprit. That's
From the
fair.
bowsprit. Okay.
I know. You're
Yeah.
in the water. You didn't have to stand your ground.
Yeah.
What do we see you doing?
I'm diving a little down and
Yeah.
trying to get under it and to find that belly of it, right? To push my horn into that belly. And I think I kind of almost realized that there's something's off with it because A, it's on fire, which is weird, and B, it's now like being not even trying to avoid it. So I think, yeah, this could be good, right?
Get into
Could
a
be good.
scrap.
Yeah.
Roll plus
Yes.
blood.
Yeah, let me roll plus blood here. Come on, guys. It's a 5, it's a 7, so yeah.
Okay. On a hit, deal your weapons harm. So
Yeah.
that is 1 wreck.
Yep.
So 4 wreck applied so far, folks.
Yep.
On a 79, your opponent may respond how they'd like, but they're stunned.
Yes, they can.
Now, I think, Gloria, you have the option here to use your power again, but not for free this time. Am I right?
No, it stays around, so I'd have to make a different roll for it. What I would like to do is turn, and with the fire that I have now, I would like to unleash a power to boost up Calum to try and see if we can get 2 wreck out of his attack. How does that sound?
Wow. Yeah, I'm happy to see that happen.
So I'm going to roll with Spitfire, leaning into this. So this is +2. That is where my fate has turned. So that is a 5.
But
Is
I can.
there? Aha! Now we have the heart of gold.
Now we can use the heart of gold. I can lend you my might and add 2 to your roll. And I can do that
That
before
would get
or
me
after.
to a 7. That would be great.
Okay.
What does that look like? Because we've got Gloria doing stuff.
I think it's me. There's fire around Caleb from having he summoned the fire. I think I take the fire that I have and I am whooshing it into Caleb. I think we were looking at each other as I do this, and it will do that. But and you get to choose, Alan. It exacts a personal cost or surges out of control.
I think personal cost, trouble, exhausted.
Yeah, that seems
Took a lot of
fair.
effort.
And I think
it was
the way I
Callum.
helped,
Yeah,
the way I helped, yeah, was I think when she lit up with fire, the Leviathan turned towards her, its stunned head towards her, and I think I tossed what would I have right there? A barrel at the head and missed, but it distracted the creature enough for her to do her thing.
Stay away from her, you bitch.
You bitch.
And you are going to get into a scrap again, Callum.
Yes, that's probably. Let me wait.
But you've thrown
I've thrown.
the harpoon. How are you going to get into a scrap with it?
Well, I think maybe in you tell me if this is okay. I'm going to try to leap at the head. If the head has been stunned and was swerving to miss the barrel that I threw, I'd like to leap onto its head and pummel it with my fists.
I would expect no less. Roll plus blood.
Okay. I rolled an 8 and I have 1 blood, so it's a 9.
I'll spend one of my bond with Caleb to get to that 10.
It's a 10. So on a 7, deal your powers harm, deal your weapons harm. That's 2 wreck, isn't it? Now, because of
Because of this. Because of,
Gloria's
yeah.
imbuing you.
And my fists have two already, yeah.
And you gain the ante.
I had the ante, yeah.
So you could have spent that bond yourself, but do you want to do that? Because then that ante is going to disappear after this scene.
Okay, why don't I use the ante and Ishmael can
keep the bond. Yeah. We'll retcon that. And it screams, how do you kill the Leviathan, Callum?
I think he leaps onto the snout of the Leviathan, straddling it, facing its eyes, and he's surrounded in fire still from the spell, and both his fists are on fire, and he rams them both into the eyes of the Leviathan.
and penetrates to the brain of the Leviathan.
It's not a big
which
one.
is incinerated and flops down into the water. Wow.
Taking Callum maybe with him into the water, at least temporarily. I need to be saved, Einar.
I mean, I can get him out, I think.
Of course you can,
as a narwhal, I can catch him, like, maybe not on the horn.
Not on the horn, please.
Not on the horn, but I'm kind of sort of a dolphin, so I'm kind of like, oh, this nice. This not pokey, not pokey, not tossed. I mean that is not flyy. No, lift gently to the water line so it can breathe.
And I think we see the kind of coils of the tail that were wrapping themselves around the goose, slide round and slip into the water.
Somebody maybe should get it so we can harvest the blood, but I'm afraid Einar is distracted by Callum in the water. And
there is an option here to pillage.
Pillage, oh, that's right.
Yeah, go and pillage.
Maybe the corpse is still, maybe enough of it is still coiled onto the boat that we might have a moment here to pillage before it disappears completely.
You threw a harpoon at it, right? Is it still on a line?
It has a truly disappointing index. Basically, the contents are the index.
Is that plunder?
Plunder, not pillage. Plunder.
Plunder is under special and down type moves in that first column after defy death.
Aha.
Or deny death.
Thank you. Of course, special when your crew plunders a score of booty, roll flat. The fate gives a bonus to the roll from 0 to +3 based on how good the plunder ought to be. Take -1 if you're doing it in a hurry. I think there is a reason to hurry because of the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the plunder here should be good. So yeah. I'm going to make this a +3 plunder, reduced to +2 by the fact you're in a hurry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who do we think should roll +2?
I think Ishmael should roll since they were piloting the boat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us see. Oh, that's a 15.
Wow. So on a hit, each crewmate takes 1 treasure in gold and jewels, because Leviathans are known to swallow what they find.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we see the crew working. There's this long length of Leviathan lying across the goose as the crew are carving it open and just taking.
I was thinking that when Einar had made the slit in the belly underneath, when the coils start coming undoing,
just
all the treasure just falls out of the belly as it's uncoiling onto the deck of the ship.
Just like a slot machine.
It's like a slot machine.
Nice. Einar will catch 1 bracelet on his horn.
So if you have a look at the special downtime moves, plunder on the far left, you each get one treasure, so make a note of that. And each of you chooses one special item from the list below.
Where's the list below?
It's in the plunder move
And
on
that is on
special and
downtime.
downtime.
Let's see. Okay.
I would like to find a beautiful, ornate pistol that is essentially like I like the idea of spray. I assume that's like cone. Is that what that is? What's the?
Yeah, I think so.
Then that is what I wish. Spend all your ammo to use the area tag.
Oh, well.
Nice.
What wouldn't you want to do? Okay, so a beautiful two-harm kind of fire pistol. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Ishmael, what about you? Anything there attract you?
No, because we're going to demarve and what you got to either the other the eye below or the silence. Either or. Uh-huh. I feel like maybe I should take the document so I can just like disguise myself as someone important so we can easily get in. Because I think out of all of us, out of all the crew members, Ishmael's probably the least likely one to crack under pressure. I say that while I'm the only one who has a -1 Polish.
Fair enough. What about you, Einar?
I don't know. I think I'm taking a strange object with mysterious powers. I think this is something because Einar was still a little distracted with being a narwhal, and Florida came the waves and trying to play with Callum. Sorry, and just caught something on their horn, and later on find out that it is a thing or somewhere in their fins or something.
Fine, we'll work out the nature of that next time. And finally, Callum. What does Callum find in the guts of the Leviathan?
So I guess what the only thing that hasn't been chosen is a book, but we've already got a dangerous book on our hands, right? And Callum's not much of a reader, although he does have an ABC book, a children's ABC book. Maybe
Then you
another
find a maths book.
a math book. Um, maybe I'll also do another strange object because I don't need a weapon because I've got my club and I've got my fists and documents.
And the once flaming harpoon.
And the one flaming harpoon is in the water somewhere or in the Leviathan.
Exactly. Would you pluck that out? That's not a problem.
Yeah. So I'll get a strange object with mysterious powers, but I will think about what that might be,
Yes,
if you don't mind, and then I'll get back to you on it.
Take some thoughts and pop it in the chat between now and next time.
Oh yeah, correct. I can do that too.
Fine. And that is the trouble that you experienced before you reach the point where the current begins to take the goose into the moor. And I think that probably, we'll have a closing scene on this episode where Einar's at the wheel, Ishmael is down in her laboratory. Let's assume Gloria is counting her money or polishing her mother.
Well, yeah, probably also still trying to get the taste of that stun cloud out of my mouth.
Yes. And Callum, I sense, should be at the bow, staring into the distance, still longing for his lost love.
Always longing. Yeah, plenty of longing.
And suddenly there's a kind of shudder, and Einar feels that the wheel being taken. Gloria and Ishmael feel that, we see them shaken to one side and then the other. And Callum has to grab onto the front of the prow. to avoid falling in because you are in the current of the moor. And that the camera will go up and we will see that you are a speck in this vast natural phenomenon.
Nice.
And
I
that is
think
where
the ghostly figurehead right on the prow suddenly makes an appearance and looks terrified. What was he doing?
Yeah.
We said it was a goose. Like
yeah,
squawks.
turns and hisses at you.
Yes.
And that I think is this episode. Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Cool.
So a quick stars and wishes.
Yeah.
My wish is that we get a finale done before Lowell has to leave us next time. That's my wish. But Jose, any stars, any wishes?
Wow, yeah, stars. I had so much fun today. That was great. I appreciated all the character moments, especially I liked the scenes with Ishmael about her heartlessness and her lack of humanity. That was fun to have those playing side by side. And I appreciated Gloria coming to my rescue so many times when I needed help and just like supercharging my character. That was a lot of fun as well. And Einar, I will not forget the rescue at sea from the clutches of the depths with your horn. So that was amazing. And Alan, as always, you are so masterful in weaving all these crazy threads that we're throwing at you into something coherent and enjoyable and suspenseful. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Any wishes?
No, I think the same one that you have, that we can actually pull something off before Lola has to leave.
Yeah.
We will aim for that, but don't harm the story on my account. That's all I'll say. So.
No, if it doesn't go well, we've got someone to blame.
We've got someone to blame, right?
What I might want you to think about, Jose, between now and next time, is whether you want whether you want love requited
or unrequited,
or tragedy.
Tragedy. I'll have to think
further
about that.
tragedy. You give some thought to that. Dom, any stars, any wishes?
Echoing what Jose said, but also enjoyed finally seeing Einar turned into the Nadvar, and also enjoyed having Einar take kind of become the face of the group, kind of in dealing with Threadbare Roger and the Tower. Also enjoyed the little, not necessarily a standoff scene, but the kind of mini confrontation between Gloria and Einar in the hall. Hey, I told you to leave. While you complain about this now. A moment, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the entire sequence with the leviathan and how you all chose to tackle the issue. Also enjoyed a little part where we actually had a moment to discuss in character, okay, which option is the better, and kind of the little, I guess, also many conflict between Ishmael and Einar of a storm or the leviathan, and we also just put a special stat to Gloria using her infernal construct, buff calm up even more. Don't think he really needed it, but yeah, it still helped. Really enjoyed the whole exchange between that, and starts to Alan for the introduction of Atlasia. It's kind of how to say, we had the scenes where each one showcase heartlessness and is detached emotion, but I think we might have just found Ishmael's heart an inanimate object. As for the wishes,
wishes.
The same as the rest, to have a proper climax before Lowell has to unfortunately leave us.
Yeah. Sabine, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, stars all around. This was fun. I loved fighting the leviathan. That was a nice thing. And I deeply enjoyed Threadbare Roger's characteristics. That was also fun. Yeah, of course not. I like this discussion I had with Ishmael, and I also like the discussions that Gloria and Callum had, and I like the punching the Leviathan to death. Basically, that was also very fun. Also, fireballs, always a fan. Wishes wise, yeah, let's get a good showdown there and open up this damn chest and find something worthwhile in it.
A chest. Yeah.
I might also, if it's at all possible, appreciate an actual scene with another character because I haven't had one so far.
Okay. Give some thought between now and then as to who that might be.
Anyone, basically.
Yeah,
I apologize for not pursuing that afterwards after I put it off, but I will make an intention to do it next time.
Well, maybe Einar can precipitate that conversation with Callum about what happened in the captain's table and anything else. Because there is that thing about you tried to save him, and now he, as Narwhal, has actually saved you. There's some meat there, I think, to have a conversation about. And finally, Lowell, any stars, any wishes?
Yeah, I think I just generally echo what everyone has said so far. One of the things I really enjoy, I will say, is we are kicking the tires and trying out all the different things. And I like that. Like we're getting to see all the different moves. There are different ways to use them, and it's always fun to have a session where you go through a lot of different modes. And this was great for that. Um, so that I think that's generally my stars. Wishes. Uh, I want to figure out like if 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 Caleb finds his love, is Gloria going to be happy or disappointed by that? Like I don't know yet, and I'm trying to figure that out right now. I think there's plenty of room for tragedy and misunderstanding there. So I'm excited on that.
I shall bear that one in mind. Yeah, my stars to all of you for making the kinds of decisions that allowed us to kick the tires. I was keen to try some other ship moves. I was keen to try some, a sea battle to all intents and purposes. I kind of assumed it was going to be with one of the pirate captains from last week, but Leviathan.
Yeah.
And some interesting kind of moves as we went. I do need to just check in on XP before we finish.
Oh yeah.
You will have been marking XP, I hope, for your failures.
No, I haven't.
Some of them were ship moves, so I'm not sure if she gets XP. Does she get XP for?
I think you always get XP on a miss.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. I think whatever if you roll,
if you're the roller, okay.
Yeah, okay. I think so.
Awesome.
That seems to be the logical way to do it.
Okay.
So you need 6 XP to go up to another level because it's level plus 5. But we do need to just touch on chapter's end. At the end of each session, ask the group, have you defeated an important foe, claimed a great treasure, or accomplished one of your crew's goals? Pretty much all 3 of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, there's another level.
At the end of the chapter, the PCs replenish all of their bonds and then choose 2 from the same one twice. Experience, luck, or harm.
Guess it's kind of like a double-edged sword because I believe that Ishmael has not failed a single door through the entire game.
I think that might be true.
I know he got like 1 XP from from the first session, but I think that was less. Well, I actually failed the door more of a. I just assume everyone failed once because I didn't keep track of it.
Yeah.
But I believe even in that, I didn't think I failed.
So you could take it. Okay. You could take 2 experience for the chapter end if you wanted to. If you want to have a chance of catching up.
I already have 2 XP, so I feel like I might just take the luck because I kind of
Yeah.
doubt, given my excellent luck, I generally doubt I'll get the 2 XP to level up.
Yeah,
So I think I
fair
might
enough.
just take the 2 luck and just use them instead of final session.
Okay, so remember 2 of the following. So you could take Mark 2 luck twice
Oh, okay.
because it is Mark 1
Okay.
experience, Mark 2 luck, heal 2 harm,
Oh,
or the same one twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Mark 2 experience and
2
the other one?
experience. So if you've got 2 choices from the
Yeah.
list of the same
Yeah,
twice.
okay.
So you could max out at 2 XP
Yeah.
or 4 luck or
Mhm.
2 harm or 4 harm recovered.
Okay, I haven't
Oh,
any harm.
okay.
I need to
I thought it
recover.
was 2 across the board for everything.
No, I mean I'm assuming I copied that from the text.
Yeah. Let's just handle it that way. We're not playing a
No,
super long campaign.
exactly.
Okay, then I guess I'm starting next session with 5 luck.
Wow. That's
Wow.
cool.
Okay, well I'll leave you to make those choices, colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could. Is it okay for me to put this up on the site?
yes.
Yep.
Thanks very much. I
All
will
right.
do that
Thanks
as soon
much.
as pause.
Thanks for
And
running.
I had a great time.